From our Sky News studios in Melbourne, the Bolt Report. Now, Andrew Bolt.
Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me. And so much to get on with, including my confrontation with one of the world's top global warming alarmists. But first, let's talk about a difficult issue. It's an issue that very few police chiefs or politicians or even journalists, I'm afraid, like talking about. Honestly, I mean. And an example, a week ago, Channel 7 did take on the astonishingly high rate of crime by Australians of African appearance, the vast majority of them refugees or the children of refugees that we've taken in from Sudan, Somalia. Here is the promo that 7 ran.
Running riot across our suburbs. The new gangs police won't acknowledge.
African gangs, do they exist or not?
The latest attack just days ago. Home invasions, assault, robbery at gunpoint.
I was dumbfounded. I thought I was dead. My hands are shaking. I'm just a shell of a person.
Their crimes are sending chills across Australia, leaving lives devastated.
I'd be having a panic attack.
Do you admit that there is a crime problem?
That promo and then the show itself got savaged on social media and by other journalists and commentators. Not so much because what it said was wrong, but that it was said at all. Activists set up a campaign to pressure advertisers to boycott Channel 7 in protest. African activists called a protest rally. Comedian Meshel Laurie, a Channel 10 regular, said white men murdering their wives was our biggest threat, and to talk of African gangs was racist bull whatever. Well, in fact, Aboriginal men are up to 35 times more likely to put their partners into hospital, 35 times more likely than whites. But I guess saying that would also be racist to Meshel Laurie. Calling the truth racist is very easy. The truth then goes away. ABC reporters such as Andy Park, an investigative reporter for the ABC 7:30, also piled on. Park attacked Channel 7, saying he had big support for African Australians who, in his experience, were highly educated, freedom-seeking, contribution-making and generous of spirit in a traditionally Australian way. And most, he said, are smarter, more genuine than those who seek to tear them down. When Park was challenged on apparently wanting to cover up a genuine problem, African crime in this case, this ABC investigative reporter responded, very happy to let my work on this issue speak for itself, with a link to his own report for the ABC, which was good to some extent, but it did contain this false claim. Absolutely false. And it's a false claim made before by then Victoria Police Chief Commissioner Christine Nixon a decade ago. She said the Sudanese crime rate, for instance, did not represent more than the proportion of Sudanese in our population. That was false then. It is very false now. In fact, police statistics show that the Sudanese born, for instance, are an astonishing 128 times more likely than other Victorians to commit violent robberies and 68 times more likely to stage home invasions. Police statistics from last year. And those are, don't need to tell you, amazing crime rates. Now, in the days since that Channel 7 report, more evidence to back up its concerns. Let me give you some more news items just from the papers in the last week. We've had several men of African appearance break into a home in Dandenong, bashed one of the men inside with a fire extinguisher and a stove top and a metal pole. Random attack, the police said. Another instance from this week. A gang of young thugs of African appearance fired a taser at a teenage boy and robbed him. Not the first such taser attack, police said. And a third example. Several men of African appearance chased the man from Springvale railway station 3 days ago and bashed and robbed him. Now, I can understand why some people, like an African-born lawyer in the Age newspaper this week, say, please don't report race of offenders. It makes African Australians feel bad, makes people fear them. That'd only be the case, of course, if you kept seeing the word African more often than you should. But his concern is correct, and I can't deny it, and I don't think we should deny it. We cannot deny that racists get off on these reports. We can't deny that Africans would feel under siege a little, and some would be treated as potentially dangerous when they're actually perfectly fine, useful citizens. All that is absolutely true. But, unfortunately, there are at least 3 important reasons for mentioning race in these crimes. First, of course, we cannot have police and politicians, even the media, keep pretending, as they once did, that there is not a very big crime problem with this specific community. What we don't describe, we certainly can't fix. 2, we cannot have politicians keep pretending, as some disastrously still do, that importing refugee groups from tribal, war-torn, third world areas and from cultures at times very different to our own, we cannot keep pretending that doing that does not put Australians here in danger. It most certainly does. We've already had 4 terrorist attacks by refugees from Muslim countries. And none of that, of course, is fair to the victims, Australians. Try telling them, oh, sorry about that, but we meant well when we imported your attacker. And third, of course, is pretty simple. If the police and the press don't describe an alleged criminal by some of the most distinctive features, how on earth is the public meant to help catch them? But then there's that, finally really, that wider moral even principle that the truth is the truth. And hiding it is certainly not the smartest way of dealing with a real problem that's frightening a lot of people, is it?